Good morning to everyone. This is the Power of Healing with Utabi. Ungowekhetelo. Sigamanga ney'nwele because we've got unexpected visitors this morning. Yeah, so this is it. So I didn't want to miss out on a timely engibekile already. I'm seeing a lot of questions. So let's get to it. We're going to talk about dreams. So dreams interpretation and how do we or how are they linked together into one dream. So a lot of times you get people get within a day or within one night you get a series of dreams. So we have to look at uh, all the key points to these dreams that are linked together to make one story, right? So that's what we're going to talk about today. And initially I wanted to actually share. I had a series of 4 dreams Izolo. So I want to make an example so that you guys understand what I'm talking about. I had a series of Ama dreams Izolo. Ne? I'm going to refer to the ones here Izolo because I think they make more sense to me and I understand better. Good morning, uh Atanati. No, no Pronto, no Andile. I will go to your questions just now. So my first dream, ngifuna ukunilinkela yona so you understand the whole story behind the dreams. The first dream was I dreamt I was doing a consultation with these two familiar people. Basically, I know their family. Ngikhule eduze kwabo. I had a consultation with them, and then at the end of the consultation, they came into my dream like abantu who were giving up because they were not getting what they were looking for with consultation. And immediately as I did that, Ukoko said, it is not a question in the dream. It is not a question of uh, how you consulted with them, but rather it's a question of if faith yabo. So I consulted with them. They felt it. They felt they gave up on the consultation because they were not getting what they were looking for. So, in meaning your dream, it's not a question of a consultation, but a question of their faith and their belief in what I'm doing at that moment that I'm doing it with. So that's the first dream. Now, I think between that time, so when you dream, you need to look at a lot of things. You need to look at color, you need to look at time, you need to look at shape, you need to look at size. So that dream was for a consultation. This is the first dream I'm having in a night. So it was between 1 a.m., right? I slept, ngivukile. That was a positive dream. So you wake up, you pray. You wake up, you pray, and then I went back to sleep. We spiritually gifted people, guys. So in most cases, Tina Sialala Sivuge, as you dream, you dream, and then you wake up, you drink something. You need to have liquids. You drink something, either being cold water, either being not coffee, your normal tea, black normal tea, and then uyeke ibe warm, and then you go back to sleep. It will get you back into your sleeping routine. Now, slept I think between 2 a.m. I dreamt I went to a place and then I switched on a button, a button of a bomb to explode. This is where I'm staying, but for me to get the switch, I had to go outside. So I switched on this button, came back home. When I got home, my late daughter had switched off a main switch of Ilendo. Yeah, whatever. But the main switch was switched off because she said to me, "You need to switch off the main switch so that Indlingash didn't understand it then." She switched it off. It bomb. After a few minutes, it exploded, and yeah, trip all the electricity in the area and everything else. How when I went into my bedroom, this is a dream, it's guys. When I went into my bedroom, I saw in my bedroom there was 2 lento sort of fire that was going on. It wasn't burning the bed, but we puzzle. And as I'm taking off that fire, then ama-lights wendlu yami. Remember, everybody had load shedding. Yonke abantu the lights were switched off. Now, as I turn off that fire, the flames on top of my bedroom, on top of my bed, sorry, uh, my house, uh, 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 my house lights went on. So kwakhanya. So it was the only house lebe khanya bene electricity. Meaning of the dream. Ngifuna ukunitranslathela so that you see, when you understand your spiritual space, it's very easy to interpret your dreams even further. So that meaning of the dream, when I switched on the bomb explosion, it meant I had taken a decision that was going to harm me. I made a choice that was about to harm me, or that was going to happen wrong. So I made a wrong choice of something that was going to happen wrong. Now, whatever that I chose, it exploded, right? When I was going through that Lento seeing explosion, when she switched off in main switch, she was protecting me. She knew good thing you like to switch, but she was protecting me inside the house. So I switch her off the important things. So when I made that decision, what she did was all the important. She made sure that she protect its space as important, that it does not get lento harmed, or I totally lento amachaphazela of what's going to happen. What is that? My spiritual space. The main box is my spiritual space. So she was protecting that. Now, when it exploded, yonke indawo yacima. That was my decision. When cima izinto, that's my life, right? That's me. That's my entire universe switching off. However, then there was fire. In dreams, guys, and I'll get into explaining different kinds of symbols. I'll make example in torn shoe. I'll make an example about a wheelbarrow, and then I'll make example about dreams of fire. So, when you dream of umlilo, fire represents a whole lot of things, right? Um, that fire that was flaming on top of my bed was the harm that was supposed to consume me. However, because it's not burning anything, it does not come as a negative thing, but now a positive thing, because I needed to go to my notes. Because of the interruption that I have today, I didn't even write my notes down. Utempi, she's here. You see, you get me on YouTube and then you come to my place, and then you'll meet her one day. So, yeah, let's get into fire now. So, let me see if I'm on the right track. So fire will actually mean. Let me just see. Did I make one about fire because I was doing those? All right, now there we go. So fire has 6 different lendo meanings, right? And I'm just going to tap on the one of my dream, right? So the fire, as I'm going with my late daughter into this bedroom, Enomlilo, it was saying the angel is here to protect you. The fire is a representation of her protecting me. That is why she's protecting my bed, my space, my space of rest and peace and inner peace. She's protecting that. So as Lomlilo is burning on top of the bed, I zangi she say, because it represents her and her energy protecting my space of peace with the decision that I made, right? And then what other element was there? Now, as this fire yesha, my house is on, meaning that everything that I had just did not affect my calling, which is my light. So that is why, in spite of everything happening, still my house is able to come in. Still my house is able to lit. Ilite gube right. That's because now it did not consume whatever that I did wrong, or whatever mistake I had done wrong. I zange consume everything, including my calling. Amatonga, what they are there for is to protect your spiritual being and your spiritual journey in most cases. So you may go through izinto in a dream, but when they appear, or when they send certain elements, fire is an element, is a very strong element. When they send those elements, they are acting as protection for that moment, right? That's the other one. That's dream number 2. That dream happened between 2 a.m. and 3. Then I had a dream. This dream was from 4:30. Okay, this is 4:30. And this one was short. I dreamt where I was with my mom. Um, she was showing me a broken wheelbarrow. And then she's saying, you need to get a new wheelbarrow. Now with a wheelbarrow, there's different meanings depending on whether the wheelbarrow is empty, you're carrying the wheelbarrow, there's a person in the wheelbarrow, there's goods in the wheelbarrow, are you offloading, are you on, there's a lot of things. How the wheelbarrow is, if you're crossing a bridge, pushing a wheelbarrow, there's a lot of meanings depending on the spiritual space. Now with a dream, it's not generic, it depends on the space oguyo at that moment, right? So I dream my mom is saying I must buy a new wheelbarrow because uh, this other one is broken, meaning I'm now growing into this, I'm going to go into this growth and a, a good beginning, or something good is coming. Now a wheelbarrow has also isn't a ningi into it. You need to know if it's new, if it's old. So there's a difference, there's a different meaning between old and new. So she's saying I must get a new one. So that is ilento no, why am I saying wheelbarrow is growth? Sorry. I think growth is a tonshu. Okay, yeah. All right. So this one means you're going to start a new project, and this project is going to consume you. All right. So that's when you see yourself buying a new wheelbarrow. She was saying I must buy it. She wasn't saying I wasn't buying it that at that moment. She was saying I have to buy it. So there's a project that is coming that's going to consume you, or take my time. And as much as it's a project, and it's a good thing with a wheelbarrow, it's either you get good or bad. Um, it's going to need a lot of hard work and effort. Now, a wheelbarrow, guys, is a representation of, let's say you dream of yourself pushing a wheelbarrow. Pushing it, that means you're working hard. Ne? Kuyenzeka ukuthi uyayipusha, you see yourself pushing it. That means those are your efforts. You are working hard at something. Now, if you're pushing it and it's empty, you are working hard on something that's not going to progress and any results. It depends on the context of the dream. You need to understand key points within a dream. So you'll get in a one dream, you get key points, whether there'll be 3 or 2 that you need to focus on, and then understand the message behind the action that is happening kule poop. You can't just say go poop inyoka beyenzani beyinjani ikhala. There's a difference between all of these things. The fourth dream now, which happened at 4, I think it was 4:57. In this dream, okay, so with my mom saying that and me starting a new project, then I saw uh, the person that I'm in a relationship with in a house wearing beads, and we spoke about certain things. And then I got to understand now that was connecting me to the fourth dream, where I dreamt I was with my cousins and everybody else. Now that actually it was a continuation from the third dream, but you will not be aware which is a continuation, because now here's my sister and my cousin going to actually look for the wheelbarrow, but I'm staying, and now I'm gagogo, and I think I was cooking and everything, and then I realized my shoe rack had shoes, right? So as I went into the rack, because something said go check your shoes. As I go into issue rack yami, I noticed all my new shoes that I've never worn before were torn. Zidabukile, zinqamukile. But now these shoes are in sort of like a same shade or a same color or almost the same. So as you look at these shoes, they are torn, right? So the key is they are new, they are torn, they are the same color, all of them. That's growth, and something good is coming. It's either you're going to rekindle your love life. Um, there's a lot of things now with shoes again. It depends on how the shoe is. There's a difference between you wearing a torn shoe and seeing someone wearing a torn shoe in your dream. Akufani akuhambi ngokufana. I want to get to your questions, but I wanted to explain to you ukuthi ama-dream alinka kanjani. So that was now the torn shoe. Okay. Uh, yeah. So also with a torn shoe, when you a new torn shoe means it's your higher purpose, your higher calling. You have reached your higher calling. You have reached your higher purpose. It means differently, depending on ilento yako, space, your spiritual space, right? Symbolizes success and good news as well, right? That's a new torn shoe, not just a torn shoe, but a new torn shoe. Uh, Now, the generic interpretation of a torn shoe for other people would be to have to serve a higher purpose. So if you dream of a torn shoe, you are serving a higher purpose. So your journey does not end here. Okay. And then you get one where it's cleansing your soul and removing ama negativities depending on on the space that you are at that moment. And then you get dreams of spiritual meaning, right? Where a torn shoe would be your confidence and land your determination, right? Uh it also represents that you are a go-getter, depending on how the dream is structured. Ne? Now there's a difference. As I said, you look at the size, you look at the color. Now, a red torn shoe represents passion and motivation. Okay, it's either whatever that's happening is affecting your passion and motivation towards whatever that you're doing. And then I think that's about it with a torn shoe. So it depends. How is it torn? Ubani uyigqokile, is it you? Are you seeing yourself wearing that torn shoe? With there's also this interpretation, guys, which is generic, where people will say, when you dream of a torn shoe, it means uzohlupheka. Okay, it means uzohlupheka. It depends on your spiritual lento, guys. It's not everybody. Ponzo. I don't know if you were writing a question. Oh, I did say Ponzo. Okay, there we go. And then we go to said ngizonitshela nje a few pointers about ama meanings walama dreams ne. Wheelbarrow, as I said, it indicates a hard work and determination to succeed. Ne? When you're pushing a wheelbarrow, guys, in a dream, you are originally from a bad foundation. All right. And the foundation is actually limiting ilento. You are limiting the factors of responsibility in your situation. So let me say this. Kukhona isikhathi where you dream you pushing a wheelbarrow around circles, right? And basically what it's saying is that you are actually responsible for your situation right now. Okuso, whether it's struggles, whether it's the dream is saying you are responsible for it. You are around, you are going about in circles. So the meaning that you are not uploading or uploading, yeah, anything with this wheelbarrow, right? So that is a problem. So in that dream, when we are pushing a wheelbarrow in circles, it's going to be difficult for you uh, to prosper within your expectations because ayenzi lutho, ayiyindawo. All right. We go to this one. When you see yourself loading a wheelbarrow, that could be a sign that you are struggling to make a living. So you're loading things actually, you are struggling to make a living. So you need to understand when you dream at that moment, in which emotional space were you in as well. And then it's at some point it represents tiredness and lento. You are easily becoming lazy. So depending on now how you were loading or which hand you were using to load the wheelbarrow. Okay? And then we go back to seeing yourself pushing a wheelbarrow, indicating, okay, this one is tricky, ne? When you push it in a certain way, or when you see yourself or seeing someone pushing a wheelbarrow next to you, it is an indication that somebody is responsible for your spiritual, which means somebody is responsible for your spiritual space, is hindering your progress. Kunomuntu obhizi. Angithi there's a person and next to you while you're pushing this wheelbarrow. That means a person is responsible for i-progress yakho kunalo muntu ohamba eceleni kwakho in everything that you do, right? I'm trying to get to your questions quickly. And so now when you get into that space, you need to understand who are you most discussing your your things with. All right. When you dream of your wheelbarrow falling down or crashing, it is usually a symbol. It indicates the yoke in your foundation is battling with the stuff in your bridge. Okay, so your foundation of izinto. Let's say you're starting a business. If kunezinto eziyenzakalayo in you lento trying to start a business that is going to affect your bridge, so it's going to affect progress of your business, and that is when you dream of your wheelbarrow falling down or crashing. When you see yourself pushing a wheelbarrow and you don't know where you're going, okay, uh, it means you are working hard in the wrong direction. Basically, amandla akho are focused or wasebenzisela the wrong direction. You're not supposed to be in that direction. A dream about offloading, pushing and offloading a wheelbarrow from the wheelbarrow. So it usually represents that your present case, your struggles, your hardship, your sadness, your pain is not, it's a reflection of your present space not being ordinary. Kunezinto ezenzakala wrong. Once you push, once you are offloading, it's whatever that you're going through. Um, it's not ordinary. Ne? If you see yourself carrying a beggar, carrying umuntu in your wheelbarrow, it indicates serious attacks coming from your enemy. Now there's a difference between one that's walking beside you and one that you are actually carrying with pushing them your wheelbarrow. Okay, this one means it's basically more or less the same, but this one means kunomuntu hamba nawe who's hindering you getting into your progress. Le ishukuthi there is somebody coming ozobhekana nawe who's going to attack you spiritually in terms of your progress. Angazi noma ziyazwakala yini. Uh, if you dream that you were pushing a wheelbarrow, good bridge, all right? It indicates progress. If now all of a sudden you are pushing this wheelbarrow, good bridge, and now the bridge collapse, that means that within your progress there's going to be struggles, or there's going to be things ezizokwenza ukuthi ungafiki where you're supposed to be. All right. So there's a lot that indicates, guys, wheelbarrow. A wheelbarrow actually is one of the trickiest because iyadependa ukuthi ime kanjani kwenzekani lapho. When you're carrying a wheelbarrow on your head, because there are people who dream of that, your destiny is seriously manipulated by certain evil things or by certain spirits. When you see yourself carrying it in your head, let's move on to Ifaya. Okay. So sometimes fire can indicate turbulences ahead in your cycle, in your next cycle of life. There's going to be turbulences. There's going to be struggles. Um, as I said, it is a sign that his angel is there to protect you. Uh, it's also indicating that you need to put your emotions um, in check. There is danger ahead. It depends on the fire, depends on how it's going about, it depends on what it's burning, what the fire is burning, whether it touch curtains, whether it touch umbhedo, it depends on the fire, whether it's a fire on the stove, it depends on the fire. All right. And then yeah, so it represents a lot of things. It's a fire, guys, is not really a sign, but a prediction of what's coming. Remember that dreams, as I said, dreams are answers to questions. Dreams are actually today's answers to questions that are coming. So to tomorrow's questions, okay, that are not asked yet. That is why we get ama dreams. Ama dreams can either be something that has happened at really, it's now actually explaining what was happening, or it can either be a prediction of what's coming. Okay, let us get into good morning, Coco. Cool. Good morning, my darling. All right. So when you dream wena uhamba kusemini uyofuna igusha and then somebody else comes forth akunikeza inkukhu emhlophe, that means that whatever that you were going to, when your intentions or your expectations is to get igusha, but instead into bowuyidinga incane, you don't need so much for whatever reason that you are going to. It depends, as I said, it depends on le gusha uyifunelani, bowuzoyenzani ngayo. Was it into yamathonga? If bekuyinto yamathonga, they are saying thina we not necessarily need ukuthi usenzele umcimbi omkhulu. Into esiyidingayo nje ukuthi wena ngathi wena ulungise lokho ekufuna sikulungise, asidinganga ukuthi, because a lot of times you'd get people saying angiyenzanga into because angingabi nemali enough. What they are saying to you in that dream, Atanati, is that lento abayicelayo kuwe ayidingi into enkulu, ayidingi umsebenzi omkhulu, what it needs into nje encane ekwazi ukudlulisa leyo nto leyo. So when kuqhamuka lo muntu akunikeza le nkukhu, uzama ukuthi dlulisa leso simo ekufaneke sidluliswe. It's not about money. It's not about you expecting into engaka or us expecting into engaka. It's about you fixing whatever that's happening. Oh, and you asked, then you said, angiyazi gogo akashaya u-10. Bekungakashaya u-10 sithando sami. So hopefully ngikuphendulile ne. Hopefully ngikuphendulile and you can actually you got your answer. So it depends ukuthi what were you asked for before or yini lento beyibonakele ukuthi fanele kuyenze. Now there's dreams, guys, about trains as well. Let me make an example, because when you have reached a certain, I think I mentioned this before, when you've reached a certain phase in your journey of spirituality, in most cases you are going to see trains, but it also depends. Are you in the train? Are you lento inside the tracks? Uphakathi kwayo, is it moving? Is it standing? Now, I'm going to make an example about me, because I think with dreams, you need to learn. I think they need to relate to you. So a lot of times I dream of me being in a train, but there's certain things that are going to happen within the train. I've never dreamt of myself missing a train. Why is that? Because I'm on track in terms of my calling and my journey. So what it is saying, remember ukuthi train, guys, does not ayiphumi ku-track. I-train has ayiphumi ku-track. I-train iyaphambili, ayiye emuva, ayiye emaceleni, iyaphambili. It's iyaphambili or yama. So those dreams indicate how far you are in your journey. And you get that ugibele etreyinini and all of a sudden kuba nabantu abagibelayo. After when ugibelile bayagibela and they're with you, that means that in your journey you're going to have to take along abanye abantu and groom them and and help them reach their destination, because each train is mostly a representation of you and your spiritual journey. You might get that you are in a train and then there's certain events that happen, ne? Let's say kungena abantu. I remember I had a dream about a train, and then all of a sudden I saw blood, and that was because of my next client that was coming. Kuthi kunento ayiyenzile, so I need to stop my train la and fix lento wayeyenzile, so that my train inga affect my train, inga ngcolisi my spiritual space. Do you understand? So you get that you see a train and then all of a sudden kungena umuntu uphuma igazi. And with me, with my space, I know it's not about me. It's about this person engizomsiza onamacala wakhe. And amacala ekufanele ukuthi simdlulisele kuwe ukuze akwazi ukuthi afike where they are supposed to go. It depends on what you're carrying. And then I had a dream where some people were selling fruits. Within my journey, there's going to be progressive things and success stories, and those are the fruits. So my train is basically bearing fruits. It depends ukuthi ukusiphi space of in your spiritual journey and what is happening. Sometimes you get a dream. I've said this before. It is very important that you observe ama dreams akho. There's a difference between seeing a reflection of yourself in a mirror and seeing a reflection of yourself emanzini. Those are two different things. Namanzi acwebile are different, ukuthi lamanzi acwebile aza ngebhavu, amanzi acwebile wabona emfuleni, amanzi, because a lot of times when you start saying hey ngiphupha amanzi acwebile, people will say you're pregnant. No, depends on the amount of water, on, because sometimes I remember with me, when I had a dream of a bath, Benamans are very clear, but inside there were pieces of tissue. So that was just a sign that I'm going to lose somebody. So those were my tears. Because as I was dreaming that in my dream, then this person came, wawashizadazam, into the same water namatish. So basically, I was being consoled before something before losing my child. So it happens before. It prepares you for into ezoyenzeka kudala. And when you look back, you'll be like, oh, so bebengithulisa because of this. And then sometimes you dream and then somebody is just, in most cases it does happen when upupa, and then you get somebody brushing you, especially if it's a late person, brushing your forehead like this. Uyakududuza, something is coming. Okay, you see them doing your hair, uyakududuza, something is coming. It depends ukuthi kuzani and when you've got abantu so active like my guidance, unfortunately, or my guides, they tell you beforehand when you're going to get messages and you see white feathers flowing. And sometimes you get angel numbers where, because white feathers falling down from the sky is a message. You need to listen to that message. And then you get dreams of coins. You do look at the date, you look at the name, you look at the amount. So in my space where I got coins, it was like five rands at that time when I was dreaming of that. Also linking ama dreams, talking about linking ama dreams. Before I dreamt of the coins, me being given a coins by a white person, by a late person, I saw this rain of feathers. So that was a message. And then when she gave me, and then I was told, and the feathers were the first dream. Then I was told you need to look for 555. So 555 and white feathers basically mean there's a message coming. And as I look, and the last dream that I got, this late person was giving me five rand coins and two rand coins. But the two rand coins were given to my son. So the 555, the five friends is the same 555 that I got before. So am I dreams in a day, guys? They link themselves to historicity one. It's just that we don't know how to interpret them. So umuntu uzothi, "Hayi gogo ngiphuphe nje into eyiningi." I want, if you can, in that day, where as you wake up, because once it's going to ukuphupha, definitely you wake up, write it down. First dream, second dream, write it down, and then make up a story. Look at all these dreams. You are going to get key points that are going to actually explain your dream, what you are dreaming. I'm actually waiting for another question. If you don't have a question, then we can say bye-bye to our dreams for today. So you link them with, oh, manje ngiphuphe I saw myself carrying imbuzi. Then the next dream was I saw myself, I was chased by police. So you write all of this down. You look at a lot of things. Now, if you're aligned, in most cases, if you are aligned, you'll be involved in all of these dreams. You are there. Your presence is forever there. In your dreams, you are forever there. It's no longer about you seeing a snake and you don't see what the snake is doing. It's no longer they if you're going to talk to the snake, bazokubonisa ukuthi wuwe ne-snake, wuwe nabakini. You were having a conversation nabakini. Sometimes you get a late person trying to tell you something eyenzekile that you need to fix, and they show you a box. So a box would say, box smart value would say, this is a secret that was never shared. So as I'm telling you and showing you this box, I'm saying I'm revealing this, what's inside this box. Because as you open the box, in most cases, it's going to be empty. So you were basically being told the secret before. So umuntu uzothi, ha, ngimpuphile wangibonisa box, but le box really empty. But there's something that he said that you never took note of when you were focusing. Go box. So in alignment, you are able to tell, oh, okay, so the dream was not about the box. Because what Amatonga do, they'll show you something but say something else, so that the dream is not about what they're showing you. Angithi bayazithanda ukubheka ama-objects, and a lot of times we talk about ama-objects. Noma ngabe into yakuluma unakuthi inyoka, ukuthi ngilumile or ihambe yashonaphi, we don't lento asikubheki lokho. So what they show you ukuthi nayi inyoka. You understand? Then you need to know le nyoka iya, don't focus kunyoka and then your spiritual being is left there. Bheka ukuthi le nyoka iye yangena yini endlini. Bheka ukuthi le nyoka ihambe yasuka. Sometimes inyoka, and then they show you a baby. Kunomntwana la. Kunento about umntwana. In most cases, you get the dreams of babies, guys. Mawuphupha uphethe umntwana omncane. Mawuphupha uphethe umntwana omncane. Mawumphethe. Okay? it's a new beginning or a new lendo, a new phase of your life, or a new being given new responsibility. Mawuphupha lo mntwana ahambe eceleni kwakho, it's not all the time that iy'ngane odokoloshi ngoba nini once umuntu yongiphupha umntwana bohamba notokoloshi, depends on your spiritual space. And then there's a difference between umuntu ophethe umntwana nomuntu mawutete ingane esithandwa sami uhamba nesilwane leyasi immediately aba la in your back ahlala la, then it's something else. Uyabona ukuthi it depends ukuthi umphupha ngayiphi context, kunani or what content in your dream, kunani, kwenzakalani, kunomntwana kunamanzi, what is there's something itshela ngalamanzi nalo mntwana. The focus is not really, then you look at the flow of amanzi and then you look at the reaction of umntwana as this flow is going on. A lot of times they show us objects or they show us things, but the dream is not necessarily about lento ibonayo. Wena ozobheka uzothi umuntu athi umuntu yazi bengigijimiswa yinja, beyinjani inja, beyenzani inja, bewathini amehlo. We look at all of those things. Okay, begijimisa inja and then ke kwaqhamuka nje hayi angisazi gogo. So manje sizothini sithi nje igijimise ukuthi wenzani, because it's not about the dog, I can tell you that. So I hope you guys nisizekile, and I hope that we will see each other back next week. But you need to understand ukuthi ama dreams wakho cannot mean the same thing as the next person. Asikho ku spiritual spaces you we are not spiritually coded the same way. Asiphumi emndenini efanayo, our guides are not the same, our elements that we work with are not the same. Ukhona abantu abaphethwe ilanga, khona abantu abaphethwe imuni, and I still have to get into that. I got a message this morning about the effect of a full moon on spiritually gifted people. I need to touch on that so that we understand what happens to us when we get a full moon. Every month it happens. A full moon is there every month. Angikhulumi ngale beyenzekile super blue moon. That's a super blue moon. That's a total different story altogether. That happens where you need to manifest certain things in your life. If you didn't manifest certain things in your life on Wednesday last week, usenkingeni thina, we went out in about 3, we manifested, we said our wishes. And my son was actually saying, Ish, mom, everything that I wished for is coming together. I wish just something else than me getting, because he went to a competition and he spoke about the competition when he was manifesting and he won the competition. So he's like, I wish more. I wish I said more. So everything that he wished for apparently is he actually made 3 wishes, but so the 2 have come through so far. So yeah, if you didn't go when you super blue moon and manifested your life into good or into light, I was thinking in food. But yeah, we'll explain the full moon. I will explain how our vibrations of a sun on a daily basis, depending on our clouds and how the clouds are standing. I will explain that in my next video. Thank you so much, guys. Ngiyani Thanda.
Question.
Ubhale question.
Question ngithi ngibhale ku WhatsApp ngithi ngifuna ukungena online ngibhale lapho.
So askisini guys, uThembi says ngicela ukubhalela question. Angikustopile. Sorry about that. It's the question yakho lapho.
So dreaming being in a passenger in a speeding car and you cannot see the driver, then you're holding on tightly this way.
So dreaming of a speeding car, you don't see the driver, but bese uyaphaphama. That means that you pace ohamba ngayo speed. You need to stop. You are in danger. So that's basically meaning pace ohamba ngayo empilweni yakho or gijimisa certain thing. It too much. And you're going to uzozihama wena. You understand? So because you don't see the driver, so basically lento ichase ayikho. You understand? Yeah, uzozilimaza at the end of the day. It means that. Have I answered your question?
Yes, you did.
All right. Okay then.
Hello, Anati. She's such a loyal subscriber. She's always doing what she wants.